Hello everyone, welcome to the November 16th, 2014 edition of the Astrology News Report. I'm your intrepid host, Ron Berger. So let's take a look at the upcoming planetary patterns and predictions. What's in store in the heavens for November 16th to November 23rd and beyond. The Sun enters Scorpio today, Sunday, November 16th, and immediately encounters Saturn. In Vedic astrology, Saturn and the Sun are bitter enemies. But the Sun outshines everything, and when a planet is conjunct the Sun, it is combust. In other words, it and its significations get burnt up. The exact conjunction of the Sun and Saturn is on Tuesday, November 18th. And so, for a few days at least, Saturn will suffer from being combust, as will its significations. Saturn is the planet of reality and structure, thus, our reality structure, what we take for granted. These realities may be challenged, or be in doubt, during the early part of this week. On the other hand, the combination of the Sun, planet of power and authority, and Saturn, planet of control, punishment, and harsh reality, can lead to a rather blunt exercise of power by the authorities. Mars has been transiting in Sagittarius since October 18th, and has been sending its fourth house forward square aspect to the Uranus-Ketu combination in Pisces. Last week, the square aspect of Mars landed directly on Uranus. Since then, Mars has advanced several degrees, and later this week, the square aspect of Mars will fall exactly on Ketu. Ketu is part of the duality of the Rahu-Ketu axis, the moon's nodes, in other words, the eclipse points, which are always exactly opposite to each other in the heavens. The midpoint between the two nodes is a location of great tension. This week, Mars is passing through that midpoint. The planet of action and conflict interacting with this point in the heavens indicates powerful stresses, and therefore the likelihood of difficulties, which may even manifest as violent events. Another potential is that nothing at all happens. A midpoint, after all, is a position of equilibrium. But, in the case of Mars, the action planet, this would just lead to a whole lot of frustration. In the chart of the USA, we see that Mars is transiting in the ascendant, and the nodes, Rahu and Ketu, are in the 10th and 4th houses. The 10th house of a country's chart represents the leader, in this case, President Obama. The 4th house, being opposite, stands for the opposition to the leader. The indications are for a lot of tension and even a major battle between Mr. Obama and the Republicans. And indeed, already this past week, the battle lines are being drawn. A different manifestation of this pattern can show up as major turbulence in another of the significations of the 10th house versus the 4th house. The authorities, the 10th house, opposite the common people, the 4th house. One candidate is the precarious situation in Ferguson, Missouri, where citizens and authorities anxiously await the announcement of the grand jury investigation into the Michael Brown shooting. A new moon is coming up this week. It will be on Saturday, November 22nd, at 6 degrees Scorpio. This marks the beginning of the Hindu lunar month of Margashiras, named for the nakshatra of the full moon, Margashira, except that this year the full moon will fall in the previous nakshatra, Rohini. Thus, the lunar month will have the nature of Rohini, a sign that represents fertility, creativity, and productivity, also commerce and trade. It is therefore a good month for starting a new commercial endeavor. Note that this new moon carries with it the energy of Saturn, which is close by at 2 degrees Scorpio. The world still has to get used to the new energy pattern of Saturn in Scorpio, and this new moon and the subsequent lunar month will be a foretaste of what to expect during the coming 2 years of this transit. Fortunately, Venus is nearby too, which helps to soften the harshness of Saturn and promises some benefit for Saturn's significations, being practical, building structures and assets for the future, and taking the long view. Okay, that'll do it for this week. Thanks for visiting the Astrology News Report. I'll be posting updates during the week on Twitter at Astro News Report.